Hello friends, Valve has made me extremely good at multitasking here, bringing you another Dota 2 video, and this is going to be Heroes of the Week, Episode 11. Our up-and-coming hero for this week is Chaos Knight, who has a 55% win rate in pro-level pubs. When Chaos Knight was reworked in patch 7.20, such that Chaos Strike was now a guaranteed life-stealing crit instead of a low-chance, strictly damage-dealing crit, and then subsequently buffed in following patches as well, the hero was considered ubiquitously broken by pub and pro players alike. And this was mostly due to his newfound laning presence thanks to the new Chaos Strike giving you essentially infinite sustain. Naturally, this resulted in the hero getting nerfed, where Ice Frog reduced the lifesteal coming from the lower levels of this ability. Following this, the hero fell off a little bit, which prompted Ice Frog to throw some more buffs his way, and here we are. Chaos Bolt is now a guaranteed 1.25 second stun, and a possible 2.2 second stun for only 110 mana at level 1. Even crazier, the stun and damage on this ability now have an inverse relationship, which means that if it stuns for 1.2 seconds, then it does 180 damage. If it stuns for 2.2 seconds, it's going to do 90 damage. This makes Chaos Bolt one of the best level 1 abilities in Dota in terms of stun duration or damage. Reality Rift has also been buffed to have a low cooldown of 14 seconds instead of 20 seconds at level 1, which means that you can now opt to put earlier points in your other abilities without sacrificing the ability to spam Reality Rift for harass and kill attempts. Finally, the crit damage on Chaos Strike is now 280% with 70% lifesteal at max level, which is the absolute highest for both values in any patch. In other words, Chaos Strike was nerfed in the early game, but it makes you a beast in the late game, and Chaos Knight's other abilities have now been buffed in the early game so that you don't have to level them up. So you just level Chaos Strike, and the hero is broken again. On top of this, the current meta is heavily favoring carries that like to fight. A lot of offlaners are strong sustainers, but they aren't good in lane versus heroes that want to kill them. Moreover, games are being played extremely fast. Not necessarily 5-man deathballing, but at the very least with a lot of small skirmishes happening, and carries generally need to get active nowadays. Heroes that can scale as well as fight, such as Gyrocopter and Chaos Knight, naturally thrive in this sort of meta. So how do you play Chaos Knight? First, pick CK carry. Second, start with Stout, 2 tangos in 1 salve. 3, start with Q in a kill lane and start with E in a harass lane. 4, buy Quelling Blade into Stick, into Boots, and max your crit first. 5, every time you have a creep advantage, press Q on your opponents and go for a kill. 6, outside of the laning stage, every time you have your ultimate, look to get active. 7, otherwise farm in aggressive areas so that you can skirmish but do not commit to huge fights. 8, build treads into armlet into luxury items like BKB, Heart, Satanic, etc. How do you counter CK? 1. Pick heroes that can clear tanky illusions, such as Legion Commander, Zeus, or OD. 2. Pick anti-physical damage heroes, such as Winter Wyvern or Omni Knight. 3. Pick heroes with AoE lockdown, such as Jakiro, Earthshaker, or Treant Protector. These heroes allow you to disengage and play around the CK ulti a little bit better. Our overrated hero for this week is Legion Commander, who has a 48% win rate in pro-level pubs. As per usual, I feel required, especially as an offlane player myself, to give the obligatory, this hero is not bad, it's just overrated. My basic argument against Legion Commander is that she was extremely overhyped because she came into the meta at a time where she countered a great number of the heroes that were in the meta massively. However, since then, the meta has shifted, and people are giving this hero the proper respect it deserves by picking heroes against it that punish its playstyle. In the recent summit, teams were beating Legion Commander by picking heroes with great counter initiation, because Legion Commander is guaranteed to start every fight by jumping one guy and trying to burst them in a duel. A lot of the time, this causes the team that has Legion Commander to show their positions, group up, and make positioning mistakes that can be capitalized on. So heroes that have been doing very well versus Legion are heroes like Gyro, Faceless Void, Sand King, who are all incredibly hard to commit into in a team fight. With that being said, I think that there are also underutilized counters to this hero's dual ability, such as Winter Wyvern, Shadow Demon, and Bane, that people aren't picking largely due to the typical pick order in pubs, forcing position 5s to pick first. But these heroes can also function as 4s, and will completely ruin a Legion's game if you play it well. Moreover, there are cores that do the same thing, such as OD functioning like Shadow Demon, and Arc Warden functioning like Bane or Winter Wyvern saving somebody from duel. So if you're looking to get some free MMR before the patch drops, take it off of dirty Legion Commander pickers by picking one of these great counters to the hero, and you can watch the enemy team's team fights fall apart because their initiator/ganking hero can't do what they want to do in the game. Our underrated hero for this week is Dazzle, who has a 56% win rate in pro-level pubs. Dazzle, just like Chaos Knight, was considered pretty ubiquitously broken once he was also reworked in 7.20, and he was reworked such that his ultimate gave a percentage cooldown reduction and stacking AoE armor reduction instead of just castable AoE armor reduction. To be totally frank, Dazzle became OP not because of the stacking armor reduction component to the spell, which was certainly the more interesting and unique change to the ability. He more so became OP because cooldown reduction in Dota is just broken. Conveniently, Dazzle has 3 spells that all benefit greatly from cooldown reduction due to the spells just not sucking in general, and then also they are in the cooldown/duration range where acquiring any sort of cooldown reduction makes them have almost 100% uptime. On top of this, cooldown reduction also makes every single active item extremely valuable, and Dazzle's a hero that loves to farm and buy active items. You can get a Midas and get extremely farmed, you can get a Necro Book and have 100% uptime on the Necro units, which also combos really nicely with Poison Touch, or you can buy Pipe, Greaves, Force Staff, and other utility items, just be a walking fountain for your team. There's a lot of options to buy on this hero. Shortly after 7.20, Dazzle received a few nerfs, mainly to the cast range and mana cost of his spells, but in 7.22, Dazzle started getting buffed. Bad Juju was buffed in the early levels from 20 to 26% cooldown reduction at level 1, and his talents were buffed tremendously, notably with a 30% XP gain talent being added at level 10, and the level 15 talent being changed from 125 cast range to a whopping 200 cast range. These buffs are certainly fantastic for Dazzle, but the main reason, in my opinion, that Dazzle is so strong right now, well, main 2 reasons. Number 1, whoever can push lanes currently wins lanes, and Dazzle can push. Number 2, games are snowballing right now from the laning stage, and Dazzle is one of the strongest laners in Dota, mainly because of his Poison Touch and Shadow Wave. How do you play Dazzle? Pick Dazzle 5. Number 2, buy typical support items and amass regen. You need at least 2 tangos, 2 mangoes, and a salve or a couple of branches. Number 3, push the lane with heal and try to get level 2 first. Number 4, at level 2, bully the hell out of your opponent with your Q, then pull the lane back ASAP. Number 5, keep push pulling the lane, killing your opponents anytime they step up too far. Go 2-0-2, then 1 point engrave at level 5. Number 6, once your carry doesn't need you in the safe lane, which is about between 5 to 10 minutes, go to your off lane, max your heal, and push the wave. Going mid is also okay. Number 7, push lanes with heal and use the vision/scouting from the lane creeps to get deep wards and play around those wards with your team. How do you counter Dazzle? Number 1, pick heroes that can purge the Dazzle Q, such as Abaddon or Legion Commander. Number 2, pick heroes that can kill through or after Shallow Grave, such as Axe with Culling Blade or Venomancer with everything. Number 3, pick heroes that focus backline heroes such as Night Stalker with a Blink or a Storm Spirit with literally any items. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it, and I hope to see you in another video.